Hey everybody, it's Sharon here from Content Sparks. Give me a quick check and make sure that you can hear me because Sarah's having a little trouble. Sarah Arrow is supposed to join me today. She has some great insights on word of mouth marketing, which is our topic today, but she's having a little trouble getting in. We're having some technical problems, even though everything was perfect for the last hour. Anyway, she's going to try and get in and we'll be here hopefully shortly. But we are going to jump right into talking about word of mouth marketing because that is our topic today. I'm going to leave the URL on the bottom here for the moment. That's the sales page for our launch today, which is called Word of Mouth Marketing. Very straightforward. How to get people talking about and recommending your business. So, one thing I want to point out really clearly right from the beginning. Oh, Sarah's here. So, we're going to add Sarah back in. All right. I was just saying, you have lots of insights you want to talk about with word of mouth marketing, and hopefully you would show up. So, you're here.
Yeah, the browser just booted me, turned my mic off, turned off my green screen, turned off the camera, and then wouldn't let me back in.
That's because
And
you
poor
just
Kevin
moved.
has just been yanked off of a phone call. I'm like, fix it, it's broken. We're
All
live.
right. Okay, you're here now. You're gonna get all your wisdom in before you get booted out, right? So I was just saying our word of mouth marketing course just launched. We're going to talk about it. And I was going to go through what we just sort of violently agreed on before we went live. I thought we disagreed, but we actually agreed. And the point is that word of mouth marketing can be confused with a few other things. So it's not social proof. It's not affiliate marketing. It's not testimonials. It's not, viral content. It's not social media stuff. It's all of those, right? And it's not just for people that already have customers, it's for every stage of the business. They're just going to use different tactics. So we have courses on social proof and getting testimonials. We have stuff on getting free publicity, on referral marketing. We have lots of different courses, but this one encompasses all of that and more. So
That makes a
what
really
I
good
could
curriculum, doesn't it? That you could
Mhm.
teach word of mouth marketing and then have the other ones like the referrals, the social proof for people who want to really dig deep. So this
Mhm.
could be like the big overview course and show them how to get started. But for those people who really want to focus on the referrals, you can upsell them that. And for those
Or the
people who,
influencers. Yeah, there's an
yeah,
influencers course as well.
yeah,
Yep.
and influencing is really popular. So if you've got people in on the word of mouth and we can show you how to become more influential, you're going to have them biting your arm off for that.
Yep. And
No,
you were
no, you
pointing
can't. It
out
sounds awful. This is my curriculum. Go away. Don't listen.
go well, there are a lot of people a lot of our customers who are also working just with startups, with people trying to get into business who might say, well, okay, word of mouth doesn't apply to them. And you were
But it
pointing out
does.
this earlier. Yeah, when we were just
Mm,
before we got on the call, you were pointing out, okay, maybe the some of this other stuff, the social proof may not apply, but what about some of the
mm.
other things that you could do? So you could have a course where you're using the start your own business, our program on that. But then when you get into the marketing side of things, some of this, and this is even pre-marketing, like building your audience, right? Where you're getting people talking about you.
Mm.
Okay. So shall I jump into some of the slides so that we can
Yes,
maybe
please.
walk through some of that? So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to open up the slides actually. I'm going to open up the graphics that we have. So in all of our courses, we've got some basic stuff here. Let me share the screen for a second so I can show you what on earth I'm talking about. So this is just the sales page. Let me hide that. So word dash of dash mouth. That should hopefully be pretty easy to remember for the URL. So let me close that. Um, and find the folder. So this is the full course. Okay, it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but all of our courses have student materials, instructor materials, lead generation materials. And in the student materials, you'll see there's a course book, there's action guide and worksheets, there's cheat sheet graphics, all that stuff, which I can open any of them as we go through. But I want to open up this graphics file because these graphics are what we put into the course book, the slides, and they're right here for you to work with. But they also give a really nice overview of the whole thing because they come out of the course book and we use them to illustrate key points. So I can walk through some of this to explain a little bit about the course. I'm not going to go through every little thing, but I want you to get a good feel for it. So this is the high level of what the roadmap is through the course. So what we call the success roadmap. And you talk about, you're going to teach, talk about, learn, depending on why you're getting the course, how to use word of mouth marketing. And that'll include what it is. You're going to select the most effective ones for your business, build your campaign, implement it, create an implementation plan. It takes time to implement, so you don't do it all in one day, obviously. Then, where's my next slide? The other thing you need to understand about word of mouth marketing is there are two types. There's organic and there's targeted, or what some people call accelerated. So organic is those things that happen naturally that you haven't made an effort to do a campaign on. It just happens because people love you. You know, customers love your product, they tell someone else. That's organic. You haven't asked them to tell other people. It just happens naturally. They hear something about you, they tell a friend, they see a piece of content of yours, they share it. All those different things can happen naturally. But to get the most out of it, to really get word of marketing going, you can do targeted campaigns and tactics. So that's where you can see on the slide, businesses launch campaigns specifically designed. And I gave one example of the organic. Sarah, can you share that example you told me about the tree surgeon, so you know about something that's more targeted, where someone took action to actually get word of mouth going?
Yeah, we work with a tree surgeon doing their digital marketing. They've got fantastic organic word of mouth marketing. It is spectacular because what they do is they save the trees. So if you've got a tree in your yard and the roots are quite deep and it's cracking foundations, you're going to want that tree removed. So what they do is they actually take the tree away intact and still alive. So the tree can be replanted, and then they keep it in a nursery with other saved trees. And then when they're running low on a few leaves or things look like up ahead it's going to be quiet, they ask a local school if they can go and plant some trees with the kids in the school. And the schools always say yes because they need the trees, and kids are really passionate about getting their hands dirty, digging, planting. It's a wonderful experience for them. So the tree surgeons go into the school and they dig with the kids and they save the trees and give them new homes. And all of the kids that are involved go home and tell their mum and dad about this wonderful person that saves the trees. So if you've got trees blocking out your light or blocking out part of a drive or cracking foundations, this company will come and keep the tree. The tree doesn't die, and then it's rehomed at the school, and they all help plant it and love it and help it grow. And all of these kids go home and talk about this to their parents, who then look in the yard and think, oh, that tree's blocking out our light. And they're feeling like they're doing a good thing, because people are reluctant to cut down trees and they are unhappy if the tree doesn't get saved. And not all tree surgeons save trees. They work for the homeowner who says, get rid of that tree, it's blocking my light. So this company specialize on saving the trees, and the word of mouth is done organically through school age children going home to their parents and saying, this is marvelous, this is fantastic, we saved the trees. And of course those parents will say, oh, you've got a tree there, you're looking to cut back or whatever, you must call such and such, they're brilliant. And if the
Mm-hmm.
tree can't be kept in your garden, they replant it and they save the tree. So they're always talking about the business because, let's face it, who saves the trees?
Well, and it's not just organic. It's been triggered. He's done something specific to trigger the organic side of the word of mouth. Those
Mm,
things where he's actually going into the schools. And that could be someone who could just be starting out. So he already has a business, that your tree surgeon,
mm,
but it could be someone who's fairly new too and is
yeah.
going out there to get visibility. So that's another aspect of getting visibility as part of word of mouth.
Mm.
Mm.
And the thing is, if it wasn't exciting, the kids wouldn't talk about it. And
Right.
they wouldn't go home and share it with their parents, and their parents wouldn't share it with their family and their neighbours if it wasn't so different and so unusual. And for the kids, it's so exciting because they've saved the trees. The tree surgeons rescued them, they've planted them and given them a new home, and they feel really part of something bigger and they want to share that with everybody.
Exactly. And for anyone who's watching right now, whether you're watching live or later, I would love to hear if you put in the comments what examples of word of mouth marketing you can think of, because it is range. This is just one example, but there are lots of other ones. Like I was saying, it includes the social proof, the testimonials, the referrals, the social media. And I'll go through some of those in here, but um, there's some of the benefits of word of mouth marketing. I think you probably recognize this already, that you can increase revenue without spending on advertising. You can create a community, which leads to customer retention. Grow your brand. So this is about branding also, increasing your brand loyalty, getting more confidence in your products, right? Building trust in online purchasing. So that's another thing. This is offline, like the tree surgeon, but also online, where people are looking and seeing things pop up and people talking about them. And we also talk in the course about 3 key things you have to have in order to get that word of mouth marketing. You have to be really clear about who your target market is and what they want. You have to have an excellent product or service, and you have to have outstanding customer service. So those 3 things are critical, and any type of word of mouth campaigns that you do around that are not going to be effective. They might have very short term, but then actually have some blowback on you, or whatever the word is. Turn around and bite you in the butt.
Well, I was
Do
just thinking before you continue, Sharon,
yeah.
something that Content Sparks gives you in the bigger Blaze packs and in the launches and at Black Friday are the challenges. And the
Mhm.
challenges are such powerful word of mouth. They really are so. Everybody talks about my blogging challenge has been going since 2007. It's
Mhm.
2021. It's a teenager now. Yeah, it should be moving out, but no, it's showing no signs of that. Right? That's all marketed organically through word of mouth, through people talking about it, saying how tough it is, saying the spectacular results that they get. And you get this in every blaze that comes along, and periodically in sales, you get to grab one of the challenge kits and use that to build word of mouth around your courses. And
Mhm.
that's a really, really powerful thing. It almost creates the marketing buzz, the publicity, the social proof, everything you need for fantastic word of mouth just through the challenges.
Yep, exactly. And you can see, I love it when you do those things online and you get people who are tagging their friends so they come and look at it as well. It's a little bit of
Mhm.
viral in there too. But yeah, those challenges are one of those things you can do to trigger the word of mouth marketing in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I talked about the 3 key things. And again, I'm just kind of going through some of the graphics from the course. I'm not going through the whole course. These just pull out some of the key points. So for instance, these are some of the things that might make you stand out. Your honesty. These are all hassle-free buying, quick problem solving, all different things that might make you stand out in the market. These are things you can do to see what customers are thinking of you now. So one of the lessons in there in the course is to actually assess what your customers in your market, how they judge you now. So you need to know what they're thinking and what they might be talking about already before you do a concerted campaign to get more word of mouth. So there are different things you can do. There are things you can ask them about their experience and their products. So this is all doing some of that customer research to really understand your customers, which is another course we have actually that could be a nice bonus or add-on to this one on understanding. I think it's called Know Your Customer. So you could delve into this part deeper if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you do need to have that understanding from the perspective of what's their experience, what do they think of you, would they recommend you, what would they say about you, how do they feel about you, all those sorts of things are important to know. Some of the examples of why somebody might be buying from you, what they might be talking about using local materials. It's not just about the product itself and your customer service. It could be your cruelty-free products, or you're sharing your profits with local charities, all things that people will talk about. The tree surgeon and how they're saving the trees, that kind of thing. But you have to know your customers to know what sorts of things you want to emphasize for them to talk about. So there are some other things in here that about tactics, and then the course goes into some specific targeted things you can do in 3 different areas. So you can look at social media marketing, content marketing, and referral marketing. All right, those are 3 areas that there's tons of ways we talked about that you can trigger word of mouth marketing, but these are 3 things in the course that are easy to focus on for anyone. So in that area, you've got your customers and leads, your followers, and your connections. All right. So things you can do with customers, things to get them talking about you, get your followers talking about you, get your connections like influencers and affiliates. And the course goes through some different tactics for each, like freebies and competitions, and encouraging your customers just to find you on social media. That whole thing with asking for recommendations, referral programs, tell your friend about us, we'll add $10 to your account. That kind of thing gets word of mouth going. What else have we gotten here? Asking followers to share it, get followers involved, asking their opinion. Then they go off and talk about how this company actually asked them and acted on what they suggested. What else have we got going here?
Can I share an example?
Of which one? I'll go back to the right slide.
If you go back, not the one you were just on, the one before, you spoke about giveaways. The one previous. No, that was it. Host a private sale.
Oh, the giveaways of special VIP gifts, that's for customers. That's one example. Yeah.
I had a client, she's since passed away, but she wanted to build her email list and she sold lingerie. And believe it or not, good quality lingerie does not walk out the door. Right? You'd think all of this beautiful stuff and all of these gorgeous window displays that people would be queuing up to buy, but no, it didn't quite work like that. People had to really feel that they needed a special occasion or a special event to come in and buy the lingerie. And of course, when you've got a shop and you've got overheads, you can't wait for people to have a special occasion. You have to make people feel good. So we put together a lingerie gift set, which was about $199 retail, which was a bra, panties, I believe you call them. We call them knickers, and some flowers, some chocolate, and a bottle of champagne, and a beautiful glass that you could put the chocolates in. So you could imagine sitting on the sofa and just reach over to the glass and take out a chocolate. It was like a really big sort of, I'm going to say martini glass. It was magnificent. And my children saw that glass and I want one. You really shouldn't be in a lingerie shop. And now that you are, all that you want is the glass. Okay. Right. So it was a beautiful prize. It was really, really well presented on the giveaway page, and we used a tool called King Sumo from AppSumo, so it had viral elements built in, and we shared it initially with 3 or 4 friends, and that blew into 1,300 subscribers. So there was that. But what we did next was where the real magic happened, because we've spent $200 to get 1,300 subscribers. And Facebook ads managers would just die for that. They were like, how are you doing it? What magic are you doing? That's like 10 cents a lead and things like that. What we did was invite everybody who entered the giveaway to the store to do the draw. And when you come along, you got a little cupcake that was decorated in the brand colours, a little goodie bag that had various bits and pieces from the manufacturers that they give you free things. And you also got a glass of champagne. Okay. So everybody, out of that 1,300 people, there were about 150 people in the store that day. It was the busiest day of that store's entire history. And in sales, she managed to take nearly, I'm just converting to dollars, $8,000 in sales that day. And the person who won the lingerie wasn't even there. It had to be posted out to them. So you can do the giveaway and then bring them in for the special event because they want to see who won it. They all got little goodie bags that was given by the manufacturers who have all kinds of promotional materials. The overall cost of everything was around $450. It was not very much at all for the amount of sales, the word of mouth, the subscribers, because she now had 1,300 subscribers all interested in underwear that she could regularly email. So there was the knock-on effect of that. And it was really, really powerful. My part of this was doing the giveaway. The actual part that the client thought afterwards was coming to the store. So it was the minds together. I'd like to take all the credit for that one, but it really wasn't all mine. It was an absolutely wonderful day. People of all nationalities, all ages. There was a lady there of 67 who sat in the corner sipping a cup of tea like a queen. And there were other younger people there. And what was really enjoyed were people who from different racial backgrounds. Was my client had every shade of bra from the jet black to the palest white, every single color in between. So everybody had the opportunity to find a bra that suited their skin tone. And I didn't realize it until I was there witnessing it, that so many people couldn't get a bra in the right skin tone. So if you've got really good things about your business, then a giveaway and get them in to look at it is really powerful, and it's not hugely expensive.
Yeah. And that one, so that's a really good example of something where you're taking action, doing a very targeted campaign to get some word of mouth going. Kevin shared something as a really great example, which is just a handwritten thank you note to a new customer. And I love that because it's something very simple. This is something that's not a campaign. So it's something that's going to trigger more of the organic word of mouth, but it's so easy to do. And you can automate your reminders and have your stationery or whatever, and just write that little note. or it can be a birthday one, whatever it is. But a thank you note to a new customer can be part of your onboarding that you do. And in fact, I think we have our onboarding course is actually one of the is on sale with this particular launch on the suggestions page. But that you should put right into your onboarding sequence, and you can put other things into that will trigger that organic word of mouth. So you've got those campaigns, like you were just saying, Sarah, with something like a giveaway with customers, and then you can build things into your onboarding. And like Kevin said, the highest compliment I can receive is a referral from one of my customers. Gives you that warm feeling, right? And it's not just customers, like we were saying before. So these were examples for doing things with customers. We had also things with followers. So something like that giveaway was customers and maybe new people as well. And then there's influencers. So a lot of people, when they think of word of mouth, they also think about recommendations. So an affiliate program. And yes, that's definitely one of them. Building relationships with influencers, all those things, sending gifts are all things you can do more targeted to get word of mouth going. So there are some good examples in the course on that. So in the course, after you've gotten all the tactics and stuff, people put together their implementation plan and pick out what tactics will work best. And I can show you the plan for that. It's very straightforward. But then they need to look at measuring. So there is another module in the course, another lesson on how you might be able to measure your word of mouth and the effect of any tactics. So something like what you were saying, Sarah, is kind of easy to measure because they're getting sales directly from that event. The email list grew by a certain number. There was a spike. But something like the thank you note, which is more organic, is a little bit harder to measure. You might see that that person is making more sales, but you're going to have a hard time tracking who else they've told, unless you have a program in place where you ask new people, well, who told you about us? How did you find out? So you've probably had this experience yourself where you buy something, then you have a little thing at the end that says, okay, how did you hear about us? We get that with doctors, who referred you. Well, a friend of mine told me about you. There you go. That was some word of mouth going there. It wasn't Google. It wasn't Facebook. It wasn't, your email newsletter or your physical flyer that I throw in the garbage as soon as it comes into recycling. It was somebody else actually saying it and recommending it. So there is that in there. There's other ways you can do it. And then that's the last slide in the course where they wrap up. So I just wanted to show you that. You can see I went through most of the course just by going through some of the graphics that we have.
Yeah, I like this new way we present this. It's
so
fabulous.
There are 22. Yeah, there are 22 slides in there. This is one way you could do it as a minimum viable course. You could take just these and add in a few others like an intro, some of the action step slides, because we've got that whole action guide. You can run the whole course this way if you wanted to get something up really quickly. So the action guide, I said I'd show you that plan. So there's an action guide that goes through all the action steps in the course, in that course book. And then when they're done with the course and gone through all the different, looking at their customers, what they think of them, and looking at, different tactics and stuff, they're going to come out with a very simple plan, 3 tactics. Tactic 1, what do I need to do? So you pick something like whether it's a competition, whether it's doing, changing your onboarding sequence to include more things that are going to trigger word of mouth, things like that, whether you're going to reach out and set up a referral program, more social media stuff. Then it's when will I do it? Who can help me? And how am I going to measure? And they have 3 of those come out. Really simple, get started right away. So, but in the action guide, they'll also have talked about or looked at lots of different other ways. Can I open the action guide? Are you going to?
I'm going to say, can we look at the expansion pack? I
Oh,
know you're
okay.
not quite finished with this, but
No,
I'm
that's okay.
conscious of the time. There
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
fabulous expansion pack that comes with this, and I was really
Um,
quite excited when I saw the quiz, because if you've come to any of these before, you know that I like to get the quiz and use parts of the module quizzes
oh, you
for,
want the module quizzes? I thought you
yeah.
wanted the sound bites. Sorry,
Oh,
I
we'll
can give
do
you
the
the sound
sound bites first. We'll come back to the module
because
quizzes
I was
then.
excited about the sound bites.
So the sound bites are coming. Over to you,
Uh,
Sharon.
all right. I just want to make sure everyone has the URL too. I need to put it into the post here with the video, but it's contentsparks.com/word dash of dash mouth so that you can go to the page to grab this. All right. And that is in my way. So let's take a look at sound bites. This is what I called, I think, a guide and worksheet because it talks about little sound bites that you can create that make it easy to share. So it's kind of like the click to tweet, that you would have in a blog post. But here, the definition of a sound bite is a short extract from a recorded interview or speech chosen for its succinctness or concision. Okay, that's the definition, but it doesn't have to be from a video. It can be just some words that people can easily say. So this goes through quick, high level, what it is. You can speed up that organic process of people talking about you by having those little sound bites that are easy to share and say. And then there's kind of a worksheet guide how to create the sound bites, choosing your core idea, make it memorable, keep it concise, ask your customers, and then a little worksheet. So this is a great add-on in the expansion pack that you can give to people in the course or as a lead magnet or bonus of some sort.
Yeah, that's a fabulous bonus, that is, because you can record the top part and then give them the bottom part as the worksheet, and it's amazing. Kevin's got a question. What platform do you recommend if I want to record a webinar on this topic so they can watch it at any time they want? So you're looking at creating an evergreen webinar so that somebody can come at a time that's convenient to them and watch it. But obviously you don't want to be sitting on camera the entire time hoping somebody shows up. So what you would need is some software where you can upload the video and have that delivered as if it was live. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're planning on doing Facebook, you can use a tool called Restreamio, or you can use StreamYard, which is what we're using right now, but we're actually here live right
Mm-hmm.
now. But there have been times when business-wise, Sharon's been flying, I've had flu, that we've pre-recorded and then delivered them as if we were here. And in those scenarios, one of us, and often both of us, are actually live in the comments, even if we're not on the video. Not when Sharon's flying, obviously, you just get me, but other times you've got both of us interacting in the comments. And if you do as live webinars, I would recommend that for the best experience, you are in the comments or you have an assistant in the comments that can interact with people in real time.
Mm-hmm.
There are tools. Demio, does that do that? I know you're a big fan
Yes.
of Demio.
Well, Demio, and also I started using Big Marker, but Demio I've been using for years, and they have an on demand. So you can go in and you could do the webinar live, or you could do the webinar basically as you being the only person, and it just records it. So you have it all going. A nice way to do it is also to do it live so that you have the chats, but then you can set it up where people have to register and can watch it on demand. Or you can just have a recording page if you wanted to do that as well. So I've used Demio that way before. I've used things like Zoom to record something. You can do the same thing where you're not actually anyone else in your meeting, and then put that on a page, embed that in a page as well. You can use a
Yeah.
course platform for that. So I like having also the course platform I've used Teachable. I'm using New Zenler as well now. And then you can take that recording and put it into the platform so that if you want to add other stuff as you go, like another lesson with a follow-up tutorial, it just gives you that much more flexibility than just sending someone to the straight webinar. But the nice thing, the webinars work well if you want total simplicity and just set that up. You can have a call to action at the end. You can, sending them to the next thing, sending them to your blog, to a place to book a call, to anything. You can have a redirect link, and you can also upload resources that they can then download during the webinar at the end. So it really depends what's simplest for you. What you may already have something, Kevin, that you can use and just leverage another tool. If you already have a course platform, for instance, it might be simplest to just use Facebook or StreamYard and do that. Oh, you have Demio? If you already have Demio, you're set.
I'll just share a link with you. If you go to contentsparks.com/tools-resources online business, you will see all of the tools and resources that Content Sparks uses, and there's several listed on the page, and Sharon's experiences, and all of that is brilliant word of mouth for these businesses because Sharon's talking about them and how they're beneficial to you in creating courses and creating programs and obviously generating leads for those courses and programs.
I thought it was in here.
Or if you click on the link in the comments.
It was in here. Oh, something happened. It used to be, here, let me look at the homepage maybe. All right, it should be in the footer, but maybe it's only maybe it's not in our shop footer. Maybe it's in the main blog, the main homepage footer or blog. This is a little slow because of the internet connection here. I am traveling now. I'm in California. Here, let me see. All right, so it's there. Okay, we have to add it to the shop footer too. Good old WooCommerce and Thrive. So this is loading up here, slowly but surely. This page. We could use a pretty link for this one, Sarah. It just says resources. So if you're looking for specific resources, this is one place to go. So I've got tools for content creation. Vidnami is the one I think that's now GoDaddy. We have to change that. Yeah, I think GoDaddy had it. Zoom. So there's a tutorial in there. Where is the one that we're talking about? Dropbox. These are my everyday tools. StreamYard. Again, that's a really easy way. And there's a free account. Can you record? Oh, I don't think you can record things with the free account, though.
No, but that's more if you want to deliver live on social media, the StreamYard. Is Demio on there? I didn't see Demio on there.
Oh, where'd it go? Maybe. I thought it was.
Well, Demio will be on there later.
Let's take this out. Let's take out Vidnami and put it in Demio.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what happened.
But an up-to-date version of all of our tools will be in the link in about 5 minutes after we finish talking to you.
All right. But there's also the course platforms. So if you wanted to record something and then put it into a proper course platform, we've got Demio and New Zenler in there. Okay. So that's a good thing to look at. All right. Let's go back. Where were we?
Yep.
Go back home. Word of mouth marketing. All right. What else do we need to go through? You want to, The module
Yeah,
quizzes you wanted to look at.
I
Okay.
wanted to look at the module quizzes because I find these absolutely wonderful for generating buzz about the course. And what you do is you grab a module quiz, and each one applies to each module. And there's 5. Obviously, you don't get a module quiz for the next steps because it will be saying something like, are you going to take action? Yes or no. That's not really an exciting quiz. Just out of interest, is there a module 5 quiz?
What was module 5? We usually
Do the
have it for
work.
every single one. It's a good question.
Yes, I was right. There is no module 5 quiz because that would be, have you taken action? Yes or no?
No, it was just this one. There is no module 5, by the way, in this course. It's 4 modules. But you mean lesson 3, where they actually create their implementation plan?
I meant the next steps.
Oh, in the next steps. How long should you?
There is, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's a quiz in the next steps. You know what? I've got about 1,000 of these quizzes and I have never looked at the last module. I have just never bothered because as far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't be there. Anyway, you get a bonus extra quiz in the last module. But the first ones is you can ask these questions on a live stream. You can say, true or false, you need to have word of mouth marketing to grow your business. Yes or no? Mm-hmm. And then people will come and comment, and you can ask them, comment, yes or no. And you can get them interacting. And the quizzes are real fun parts of business. And they're often overlooked as seen as frivolous or too complicated, but they're actually a really good thing in your business. It's something that you can, share with your audience and build in more engagement and have conversations. And when everybody, especially us, we say, what do your audience want? Well, when you're doing a quiz with them, you know what they want because they tell you. They say, oh, I want more word of mouth, but I don't want it to be really difficult. And you can say, well, in my course, we make it easier for you for doing X, Y, Z. So there's lots of different ways that you can use the quizzes to drum up interest in your course, whether you deliver it live or you deliver it, asynchronous video? I never even heard of that until
asynchronous.
Yeah. I'm like, what's that? Yeah, asynchronous video. That's a course that's pre-recorded for the rest of the world, like me.
Or just asynchronous learning is also self-study. Yeah.
Asynchronous learning.
It's not everyone doing it at the exact same time.
So the quizzes are really wonderful, really engaging, almost as good as the challenges, but not quite. And they're just a wonderful way for you to get to know your audience that much better. And you don't need a lot to do one of these. All you need to do is jump on your live stream, have the document open, and just ask a question. And if you're using StreamYard, you can put the question on the screen and you can say, thank you to coming. This is the question that you're going to be answering now. Then you can have a chit chat, greet people, and then repeat the question and, get them really engaging with you. And then you can say, okay, here's the answer. Who got that right? And you'll have people saying, me, and I was nowhere near it. And, you get so much engagement on your live streams. And they don't have to be long either. You don't have to be on for, 15 hours just to get that engagement. You can be on for 10 or 15 minutes and have a short, sharp, interactive burst that gets people interested in. And you can say, and if you want to do more with this, ping me a message on the platform and I'll get back to you. So the people that are interested in doing better self-identify. And because they're sending you a message, all your competition, they don't see who's interested. they don't get to message them and say, oh, I've got a program too, because they're messaging you discreetly. And you can put up a link to the sales page. You can do all sorts of things. It's a really lovely way of getting people into your programs without high pressure selling. So as you can tell, as I'm not shut up for the last 5 minutes about quizzes, I'm a really big fan of these.
And I just found typos, so I'm very upset. I'm just really sad right now because I hate typos. So, Fiona, if you're watching, okay,
I mean,
gotta upload again. And anyone
that
who's
one
already
there,
bought this.
that one there, which of the following is a good tactic to use with your connections? A, build relationships with influencers. B, invite influencers on a special VIP trip around your workspace. C, invite local community members to a business breakfast. D, join community boards. E, all of the above, which is the correct answer. But you can talk about that. You can ask them and get them to give their answers and then say, well, here are mine, choose one, A, B, C, D, or E. You can really get the interaction going with people and get them joining in. And you'll have someone say, I'm in London, I don't know any business breakfast. And then you'll have about 15 people all jump in and say, here are the links to the business breakfasts. So your community help each other. And that's a really, really powerful thing.
Absolutely. So, yeah, those are always great ways. And of course, there's the simple way of loading it up to your course platform.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I like getting the interaction and the talking going. Like somebody asked me just the other day, in an email, whether they could earn an income by delivering these courses, just selling these courses pretty much as is, with almost no changes. And this is someone who's not currently a customer of ours, because I think our current customers wouldn't necessarily ask that question, because the answer there is yes, you could, but it would take a lot more work in marketing, and you have to make sure that you're adding something elsewhere. So it was kind of interesting. Nobody's going to talk about you if all you're doing is posting something up on a website and saying buy it with a buy button, or just sending them to a page, right? There has to be much more to it than that. You don't have to change these courses dramatically that we do. Most of our really successful customers go in and make it theirs. They may not make a lot of changes. They'll change certainly the branding and put their own e-cover together, but they'll look at the examples. They'll make sure they know the content. So read through it, try some of the stuff out, and then do other things around it that really add value. So things like you were saying, Sarah, taking the module quizzes and making them discussion points. Lots of people keep it very simple and just do live sessions with Q&A, or they record a video as a webinar on demand, put it up, but then still schedule those Q&As. I think Kevin does something like that, doesn't he? With not Kevin Gustafson in the group, but your Kevin.
Yeah, we do office hours for our academy, and Kevin also does the office hours and the Zen chat for New Zenler too. So if you've got New Zenler as a platform, you may see my husband over there. He's the one looking haggard and weary because I want unicorns for my garage.
And then that way you can have everyone talking about you too, but not necessarily in a good way.
And
I like the unicorns.
What you need to remember with these is, if there is something that you've not done, that doesn't mean to say you can't teach this course.
Right.
For example, back in the summer, we had the Clubhouse limited edition come out. I had done Clubhouse for about a week. Sharon had done it for about 2 days. We knew what had to be done. We were able to put together a brilliant limited edition course with examples, etc. But when it came to talking about all of the potential of Clubhouse, we got in an expert and we brought them on. They talked wonderfully about Clubhouse for about 45 minutes, answered everybody's questions. And that's what you can do with your business. You know, if you're there are areas of word of mouth marketing that you're struggling with, go and find an expert who's done something and interview them.
Yep.
Laura's shining. Lovely to meet you. Bummer that I have to go now, but I'm so glad that I found this. Thanks for the info. Rewatch later. Yes, come back because there are tips you are going to miss.
Definitely.
So don't
Well,
think to yourself.
we're finishing up soon, but I'm glad you came on. I'm really glad. Okay.
Don't think for 1 minute that you cannot teach this because you've not got an example, because you will have a friend who's gone viral, in which case bring them on, get them talking. Add that as a bonus, that there's a bonus interview with XYZ who went viral with a blog post or went viral on Instagram. You know, so don't think to yourself that you're limited to your own knowledge, because you are absolutely not. And lots of people will want exposure. In my academy, I have 5,000 students. So if I say to somebody, would you come on and do a session? They say, how big's your audience? I say 5,000 students. I don't have to beg them. They want the exposure. And you'll be in the same situation. You know, you'll have people in your academy, and you will have people who are experts who want exposure to that audience, and they will want to come and talk to you and want to be part of that experience. You're not asking them to, you know, give the complete how-to. You're asking them to share their experiences, and that is really valuable as a student. I want to know, how did somebody feel when their first post went viral because they got so much exposure and word of mouth?
Right.
How did it feel? Right. One thing, I've had blog posts go viral, and I've had blog posts that have been featured by places like Forbes and had 200,000 people visit in a week. Horrendous amount of traffic. What people don't tell you is your server falls over. Right? It just collapses under the weight of the traffic, and you have to upload and pay them more money and pay them more money and pay them more money. And when you just think you can't pay them any more money, you have to pay them some more money. Right? Nobody talks about that when it comes to viral blog posts, because they've never truly had one. They don't understand what it's like to have the website collapse under the amount of traffic you're getting. The next thing is you get begging emails. You have people say, your blog post went viral. Please, can you include me? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Your blog post went viral. You must be rich now. Can you give me some money? And I'm not talking about one or two emails. At one point, it was several hundred a day.
Wow.
So when you've got somebody there who's had the viral experience, and they tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that means you're better equipped with your students. You can say to your students, okay, make sure you've got really good quality hosting. If you've got a potential to go viral with a blog post, make sure you've got things in place so you don't get caught short. Because I probably could have had 1 million visitors, but my site was down several hours at a time. And then you can say, be prepared that you're going to get lots of emails from people that you might find uncomfortable. That might mean you get a VA to deal with the emails. So you don't have to see them. You see the ones that are really important, but the ones that really tug on your heartstrings, your VA answers professionally, and you give her a little templated response and she just deals with it for you, or he just deals with it for you. Now, you can get all of that extra information from the interview. So you can tell people how to cope with the runaway word of mouth marketing, because you don't want them to fear it. I've got to be honest, if I'd have known what would have happened when the first blog post went viral, I would never have gone for a second one.
And that's just one part of word of mouth. So that's the
and that's just
blogging,
one part.
and that's sort of a sideways word of mouth, unless you were promoting something in the post. So you could have somebody you interview on different aspects. So things like the customer onboarding, because like Kevin was saying, the greatest compliment is when somebody refers you to somebody else. Right. So you can have someone who specializes in that aspect in getting referrals or getting testimonials, that kind of thing, or customer onboarding. You look at the different tactics in the course and see what experts you could find or share, or blog posts and stuff that you could share, other resources that you can share. We usually give, I don't think we have it in this one, but you can put together a list of different resources as well. That's a nice bonus of where they can get information on each of the different types of tactics. So viral blog posts, customer onboarding, influencers, all those different things, connecting with influencers.
Yeah. And how to stand out in the influencer's inbox. Find somebody who's a medium level influencer. You're not going to get Mrs. Hinch this week, maybe next week, but while you're getting started, you need a medium level influencer, and you can get them on and you can ask them questions. If they went viral on Instagram, how do they deal with all the DMs? Do they have members of teams? What tools do they use? All of this is really useful information if someone's planning a word of mouth marketing on Instagram. So you've got lots of opportunities to find people who are up and coming or a medium level influencer to come in and do an interview with you and spend 20 minutes, half an hour sharing their experience. And all of that's really useful to the people who buy your course.
Yeah. You could have things on branding. I'm already getting at things on branding, somebody who knows how to do meetups. The list is endless of different things where you can dive into each of the tactics in the course and get someone to come talk about it. So,
and at the end of it, your course is completely different from my course, from Sharon's version of the course, and for the person that just records it as is and pops it up. We're all doing our own amazing thing with the content.
Yep. And that's all without really changing the course itself very much at all, without having to do a lot of work in there. So it's all you adding value to it.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not going to go into all the other stuff. There's sales page copy, the other stuff that you get with the package. There's a launch bonus, all those things on the sales page. But we are reaching our 1 hour point, so it's time to wrap up a bit. So there's the URL. There's a little info there. You can go back and listen to this live stream more if you want. Go back, like Laura was saying, to listen to anything you might have missed. Go through the sales page. Contact us if you have questions. Somewhere in here is a place. Yeah. If you have questions. Oh, look, it's a scrolling banner.
Hey.
Send them to support@contentsparks.com. And I think that's everything. Let me see. There's some screenshots. So that's just the sales page you can go through. There's the launch bonus, social media mentions tracker. Oh, this is good. You'll just have to go onto the sales page. But this is in Canva, right? So you can use this to help people with, I said social media is one aspect of word of mouth marketing. So it's great to give people that little bonus tool just for tracking, because one of the challenges we mentioned was measuring results. So this is a simple way to keep track of people on social media who mention you.
And that's a really nice way of doing it
as well. Yeah. And that's it. All right. If anyone has questions, please do let us know. Just answer them. You can send them to support@contentsparks.com. You can tag Sarah Arrow or me in the notes here. Let me turn off this so maybe you can see both of us. Where are we? There we are. So you can tag either one of us. So she's Sarah Arrow, I'm Sharon Sheldon. Drop your questions and comments below. Let us know what you think and what your own take is on word of mouth marketing. All right. And if what examples you might want to share. All right.
Mhm.
So I'm going to sign off. Take care, everybody, and hope to talk soon. All right. Thanks, Sarah.